Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel. Today I'm here to issue a challenge to Henry Cavill. I'm at an actual Scottish castle to prove there's only one Highlander in Warhammer 40,000, and also there's only one army that really wears gold. The Sons of Sanguinius, clad in their golden armour, fear neither the heretic or the Xenos as they protect the Emperor of Mankind. There can only be one, and it's not you, mate. The reason that really prompted this video,
I think I was playing the wrong video there. I have no idea what video was playing there. Oops. I guess everything might not still be 100% from my PC formatting, huh? How's everybody? Good evening. I wasn't really sure what I was painting tonight, so I've decided to paint some jump intercessors. And it seems like this pot of Mechanicus Standard Grey is on its last legs, that's for sure. The paint at the bottom feels very thick and I have to water this down significantly. How is everybody tonight? Astartes party's in the house. Good evening, Panda Man. Hello. Jordan, what's happening? Marius, nice to see you. As always, see the usual people, the usual suspects getting in nice and early. Hello guys, hello, hello, hello. Hope you've had a good Saturday. Hold on, I can't see chat properly on my screen. 1 second. View docs chat. Quicks, what's happening? Highland Phoenix, good evening. Nice to see you nice and early tonight, Highland. How are you doing? So yeah, I obviously finished my heavy intercessors now, so I guess I need to find the next project. I thought it was maybe going to be a Land Raider. I've painted them for the last couple of weeks. I'm not convinced about the Land Raiders. My painting always comes from units that I'm convinced are going to be good in competitive play. Regardless of the fact that I've used Land Raiders probably 15 times now, I feel like I'm still not convinced by them. Keep using them, but I'm just not convinced by Land Raiders. Be it the regular Land Raider, be it the Redeemer. There are a lot of points. A lot of points to lose. I keep losing them in turn 1. I don't know. They've got weaknesses. So yeah, I was starting to paint Land Raiders. I'm not convinced. So tonight I figure I'm just going to put some paint on another model. I'm not convinced by this model either, to be brutally honest. So I could probably go and paint Death Company, because I am convinced with Death Company. But it's good to have models ready with 3 colours, so if I need to change, I'm ready for tournaments. Quicks has been playing Grey Knights lately. Hey, I mean, you can play whatever you want, right? Highland Phoenix did some spray painting today, finished building 5 Vanguard Veteran Dawnbreakers I had in the box for ages. Well done, dude. It's always nice to finish something you've had kicking around for ages, isn't it? Let me just plug my light in 1 second. I didn't realise I hadn't plugged it in before the stream started. Okay. Have I finished Dante? No, because for Dante I'm doing him in a painting video, man. So I can't really paint him on stream because I need to, you know, I need to say what I'm doing, and I was halfway through a painting video with Dante. If not, I would have probably painted Dante. You're right, Marius. It's a bit bad that I haven't finished by Primaris Dante. Probably what will happen is eventually Dante will get a points drop, and then I'll be excited to play him, I guess. But no, I failed. I had a week off work at the beginning of the month, and I feel like I failed. I didn't make any, I typically only make painting videos when I'm off work, and for whatever reason the week got away from me. I guess I did a lot of stuff with the kids. It was probably because the kids were off nursery. So because the kids were off nursery, I didn't get as much time, I guess, for myself, for my hobbies, and I guess I really failed at making the video. So I need to get back. Next time I take a week off work, I need to make sure that I get get a day where I just don't get interrupted and I can finish doing my Dante painting video. I think also during the week I had off work, my wife was struggling a little bit with the 2 kids because they're so young, right? They're ages 2 and they're ages 4, and they fight all the time if you don't intervene. So she was needing a bit of a break. So I guess I gave her a good bit of a break, and I didn't end up filming my painting video. So no, I haven't finished my Dante. I want to finish him. I like Land Raiders with 2 squads of Captain and Assault Intercessors will be good for a while. Yeah, the problem sometimes though is there's a lot of things that just kill Land Raiders in a single turn, isn't there? Like a couple of weeks ago it was the Eradicators coming out of my opponent's Land Raider. His Eradicators killed 2 of my Land Raiders in turn 1. That was pretty brutal. And then the week after that, it was like the Castellan Knight. Well, the Castellan Knight killed a Land Raider in turn 1. I can't remember when it killed the second Land Raider. Basically, as soon as it saw it, it killed the second one. And then last week, all my vehicles got destroyed by Haywire. So it's been like 3 really bad weeks in a row for me in battle reports, I guess. I've just had 3 horrific games. I suppose not 3 horrific games, but this week's game was horrific. Yeah. Helldivers kept me from painting. I never actually bought Helldivers, man. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. But I don't really have a crew that I run with for playing video games, so I guess I could probably join Andrew, but Andrew plays like super late at night. Andrew isn't a morning person, whereas I am very much a morning person. Like, I get up on a Saturday at 7 o'clock to get on my cross trainer and stuff like that. Do you know what I did do today, though, is I went skateboarding today, so that was fun. I went skateboarding with my 2-year-old, trying to teach him to skateboard. So I did some skateboarding next to him, and that was pretty fun. He only fell once and ripped a hole in his trousers after refusing to put on his knee pads, go figure. So, tonight I'm going to be painting Assault Intercessors. I'm going to try and get a second colour or two, a couple more colours onto these guys, so that they are like tournament ready, 3 colour minimum shenanigans. So I figured I'll start with a bunch of these armour joints. Mechanica Standard Grey is what I use. Unless you've got an invulnerable save, nothing is safe. Well, this week against the Haywire, I literally took a vehicle that had an invulnerable save, Marius, and I didn't even get to roll it one time, because the Impulsor got killed with pure Haywire shots. So the one time I actually took a unit with an invulnerable save, I didn't get to roll it. God, I hate Haywire / anti-vehicle devastating wounds. Drukhari's army is kind of ridiculous. They have so much anti-vehicle, they have so much anti-infantry. I really dislike that witch character that gets like 20-something attacks, anti-infantry 2 up. Like, what is that, man? And I guess if she's empowered, she rerolls all hits as well. So 80 points for like 20 attack. I think it was 22 attacks, AP 3. Let me get this right. 22 attacks, AP 3, anti-infantry 2 up. Yeah, that's what he had. That leaves me feeling like Marines are a little bit behind, doesn't it? Aradine, good evening, how are you? Jeff! They hit hard, but calling them glass cannons is vastly overstating their durability. Calling what glass cannons? Land Raiders? And last week on stream, someone, I believe it was, let me think, oh god damn it, somebody gave me a super chat last week and told me to start the Fallout TV show. I'll remember when he speaks in chat tonight. Hello, Paul Ochololo? I don't know how you say that, dude. What's happening, dude? Welcome. I usually stream probably every Saturday. It's kind of random. It really depends on my kids and stuff. So I would say I used to have a constant Saturday night stream, but now it's a bit more random. Sometimes it's evening, sometimes it's during the day, when I can get a break from the kids, I guess. But welcome to the stream. We just hang out, chat. If there's any Blood Angels questions, of course I'll answer them. If there's any general 40k questions, of course I'll try and answer them. If there's any questions about the tactics video that I release every Friday, I can try and answer those too. So welcome to the stream. How are you? Always nice to see new faces. It kind of always boggles my mind that we do get new people every week, considering that, like, I've been doing this for like 4 years, and it does make me wonder like how we still manage to find new people every week. But I guess the Blood Angels fandom is a big fandom, huh? Drukhari is either trash or broken. It's like Eldari. Yeah, I mean, I think the games I've had against Drukhari, I've either won them comfortably, or this week I got slaughtered by them. Like, I got absolutely slaughtered by them. I felt like I probably didn't play well, but I got so slaughtered by them. Hey Aradine, thank you so much for the gifted subs. You're always hooking me up. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you.
I have awoken.
Welcome to 5 new members. Say thank you to Aradine. It gives you access to our members only room on Discord. Come join us on the Discord. Get yourselves into the members only room.
I have awoken.
5 new members have awoken. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Did you guys like
I have awoken.
That's the second time in the history, I guess, of my YouTube channel where I have made a video that talks a lot about like how to get the most out of the fight phase, right?
I have awoken.
And it's an interesting video to make, right? Because the last time I made a video about how to get the most out of the fight phase, it didn't get very many views, right? Like, let's say my normal videos get somewhere between like 5... Probably a normal video for me gets about 5,000 views. Last time I made a video about the fight phase, it only got like 2,000 views, right? So like the algorithm or YouTube doesn't think it's a good video, so it doesn't show it to many people and it doesn't get much view time. But I got a lot of comments saying like, hey, we learned something useful in this video, thank you so much for making it. So I made another one. Things have been a bit different for the YouTube channel this last year, right? Like, I'd say before this year, sometimes on a Friday I could just have a dud video, right? Like, I just put out a video, for whatever reason it's a dud. I don't know. It's not like I try and make crap videos. But I guess occasionally I would just put out a video on a Friday and for lack of a better word, it's just a dud. It doesn't get very many views, it doesn't get very much engagement. The algorithm doesn't think it's good, so it doesn't show it to my subscribers, and it's just a dud. So I used to get duds, I don't know, once every 3 months? Maybe, let's say once every 10 weeks I would just do a video that was a dud. And sometimes I could think, like when I was making the video, because obviously like I spend quite a bit of time each week making tactics videos, I might think to myself, oh, this is going to be a great video, right? Because I feel like I've got a great idea, or I feel like I'm on a good topic or something. And like, here's the weird thing about YouTube is like, there's been weeks where like, let's say I'm going on holiday, so I've only had like 2 hours to make a video. So I've thrown something together, because I always like to put something out on Fridays. And I've thought to myself like, this week's video is not good, right? Because like I've done it in a few hours, didn't have a lot of time this week, we're taking the kids on holiday or something. But I wanted to put something out anyway, so I've done it, and then it's done amazing, right? Like, it's had loads of views, it's had my normal views, and like, it's been fine. Whereas I've had videos where I spent loads of time on them and they've just been dud videos. So this video this week was really interesting because like, lots of people have said lots of good comments. Like, all the comments are really positive. Someone even said my video was better than the Vanguard Tactics video, which I think is a... which is very, very kind of you, but I don't believe you, but okay. But I guess my question was, do anyone that's watched the video, did you like it? Did you feel it was good? You want more videos where we actually get some models on the table? You think there's value in that? Or you prefer to just know the maths and stuff like that? Because I don't really mind what type of videos I make. I just want to make videos people want to watch. The Starters Party says it is actually better than Vanguard Tactics video. I don't think Stephen from Vanguard Tactics would like you very much, but I'll take the compliment. Thanks very much. Lost says, first time stopping by. Your videos have been great and getting me back into the hobby and picking up Blood Angels as my first personal army. Well, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the hobby. Lost Lieutenant. That's a cute name, actually. Like a lost Death Company lieutenant returning to the hobby. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for subscribing if you would consider doing that. Welcome to the hobby and the channel. I try and get content out every week, so do consider subscribing if you didn't do that already. But yeah, I this year, for some reason on YouTube, I guess the algorithm has finally decided that I make somewhat decent videos, and I have not had nearly as many dud videos. And I haven't been, I've just been making the videos the same as I always make them, or I've just been trying to make videos, like I always try and make good videos, it's not like I try and make shit videos, right? So for some reason this year I've just not been having duds, it feels like, because I said to my wife, I can't remember the last time I had a dud video. And this video, This one about improve your fight phase wasn't great, but it wasn't like a dud. Like, I don't know if I can tell you right now. Yeah, I'll tell you. It says that it's had 2,000 views since Friday, and my normal amount of views is 1,400 to 2,500. So do you know what? It's bang smack in the middle. So it's not a bad video at all. Animan thought it was helpful. Highland Phoenix thought it was helpful. First time it's three people in a row saying that it's the first time they've caught a live stream. Good evening, Mr. Sea Lion. How are you? Pathetic Sea Lion. I need to be back in just 2 seconds here. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. What have I missed? I think the map is more for competitive audience and videos about tips and tricks appeal to more casual players. Yeah, maybe. I guess some of the tips and tricks help. I feel like I'm a competitive player, but I'm not above and beyond getting the odd tip or trick for the fight phase. I actually had no idea up until this week that if you don't have fight first at the start of the fight phase, you can't get it halfway through the fight phase. Did you guys all know that? Because I did not know that one bit. Pathetic Sea Lion hasn't had his Blood Angels out since 8th edition. I was going to say, how many years ago is that then? 5 years? Something like that? So yeah, even if you're a master of the game, there's always a little rule, there's always a rules nuance that you don't fully comprehend. It's not like the rulebooks are super well laid out and infallible, right? Jeff says they'll be more helpful for less experienced players. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's probably why they get less views. But, I guess I'll still make those sort of videos time to time. I had fun making this week's video. Plus, like I said, like one of the mistakes was a mistake that I would say I'm a reasonably high level player, and one of the mistakes was a mistake I made. So it's good to learn from your mistakes, right? The charge changes, like not fighting stuff you didn't charge, is a pretty big change. I think. Have I thought about joining Vanguard Tactics Academy? I mean, I have thought about it, but here's the problem with JT Money. I do not have time. All my friends, like, I already work 45 hours a week at the day job. So I've got 45 hours a week gone. And then I work like 20 hours. Now I was going to say 20 hours is a lie. How many hours do I work a week on BAC? Do you know what? It's not far off 20 hours. So so basically I work 65 hours a week. And then I've got kids, 2 of them. So I might be able to learn something from Vanguard Tactics. I just don't know when I would be watching it. I'd be watching it like 11:30 at night, which maybe is fine, but usually by 11:30 at night my brain's ready to switch itself off. I'm sure that there's value in Vanguard Tactics Academy, Phil. Like, if you think my videos are useful and you're looking for the next step up, I bet you Vanguard Tactics would be the next step up, right? Like, because I'm only doing Blood Angels, so I guess if you're only doing Blood Angels like me, I can probably give you everything you need. But if you're doing more, then by all means check out Vanguard Tactics. It's not like I'm trying to compete with them anything. They got me beat by a long shot. I think he just hit like 40,000 subscribers on Vanguard Tactics as well, so Stephen's killing it, man. 20 hours feels light for BAC. Well, I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and then I do the live streams on Saturdays and Sundays. So it's probably closer to 20 for what I put in each week for the channel. But I mean, my channel for me is really successful. I'm really happy with it. Yusef, what's happening? Like, I mean, it could always be bigger, it could always be better, but yeah, I'm a one-man band essentially, right? So I'm really happy with where BAC is. I think if I keep going for like 2 more years, I'll be close to 20,000 subs. I think that would be a huge milestone for me. That would be a huge win. I think at that point, I feel like I've achieved something. I mean, I've already achieved something with. I'm going to be 15,000 pretty soon, right? I think I looked today. I was at 14,650 something. So, yeah, I think I can get to 20,000 subscribers in a few more years. Keep trying, keep grinding. And yeah, like I said, I've never heard anyone say anything negative about Vanguard Tactics Academy. So I have considered going to one. Like, they do seminars as well, right? That might be a more reasonable thing for me to do, right? Like, if I'm going to a tournament where there was like a Vanguard Tactics seminar. It's like a 2-hour seminar or something like that. That might be a better idea for me to do. My problem is I haven't been away overnight for a tournament since my second kid was born, and he's coming up to 2.5 now. So probably by like the time he's 3, I'll feel a bit more comfortable about going away overnight again. I'm thinking about pressing an old idea of 2 Terminator squads, but would Blade Guard be better? Terminators are a weird squad right now. Like, they're the most durable squad that Marines have, because they have like a toughness 5 and an invuln save, and a 2-up base save, I guess, which is if you're in cover, is very, very good. But we don't see too many people play Terminators. They're very, very costly. They're like 185 points for 5 or something. They don't have great shooting. They really don't. Like, it's just like storm bolters mainly. And if you go the close combat ones, like it really sucks to me that their Thunderhammers only hit on 4s. I really think I feel like if close combat Terminators hammers hit on 3s, they might be played / they might be viable more. I don't know why they made their hammers hit on 4s. I've been running 6 Blade Guard with the Judiciar in my list now for, I don't know, maybe like 10 weeks or something, and it's honestly one of my favourite squads. Hello Matthew, thank you so much for becoming a battle brother, appreciate it. That is get me a little bit closer to our goal of 9 new members this month. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you head over to Discord, get in our members only room. They have strength 10 in Sons of Sanguinius. I was thinking about that, Jim. Honestly, Jim, I was thinking about close combat Terminators this week because I don't know if you watched the game I played against Drukhari, but I got absolutely annihilated by Drukhari this week. Like, I got annihilated so hard that I was like, you know, in some ways you want to lose the odd game, and you probably actually want to get stomped in the odd game because it makes you like reevaluate everything. So I got absolutely stomped by Drukhari this week. So I was like reevaluating everything, and I even looked at Terminators and went, right, close combat Terminators do have 4 wounds per model if they have the Storm Shield, and that would be why you would take them, right? T5, 4 wounds a model, 4 up in Fun Save. So very, very durable in that sense. But 5 of them with Thunderhammers, you're only getting 20 attacks, and the big problem is the WS4 up. So it's like you're only getting 20 attacks at strength 10, so you're only hitting 10 times. So even if you Oath of Moment, you're only hitting 15 times. You're only AP 2. Assuming you get like a couple of dev wounds, and let's just say for argument's sake, you can wound on 2s. So you're fighting something that you're going to be able to wound on 2s. So 15 hits wounding on 2s essentially gives you like 13 hits. So they would have to take 9 saves and 2 dev wounds. Or sorry, 11 saves and 2 dev wounds. Is that enough? Like, if you compare that to what my Blade Guard are doing, it feels way lower. I think it's just, if Thunderhammers had still been 3 damage, then I wouldn't have had a problem with them being WS4 up. If Thunderhammers, because they're on 2 damage, it feels like Blade Guard with 5 attacks, with 1 better weapon skill, you know, 1 more attack, 1 better weapon skill, and Blade Guard have like innate rerolls because they have that like ability where they can just get rerolls without using your Oath of Moment. If you're in combat, you can just say, oh well, I'll just reroll 1s this phase. I don't know. I really don't know about close combat Terminators. Why pay 79 to 39 points per model for a Terminator? Well, yeah, I just don't think we can justify it. And when I was thinking about it this week, I was honestly thinking to myself, I think the only reason that they've not made those close combat Terminators competitive is because they don't have a Primaris kit for them. I feel like if they'd had a Primaris kit for them, they might have been somewhat competitive. Maybe that's just me being overly negative about Primaris, but hey Crispy Delicious, good evening, how are you? Do you know what I thought about that as well, Marius? You can pay like 80 points to add a Librarian to your Terminators, and you could give them Sustained 1. But is Sustained 1 that exciting on 20 attacks, right? Like if you roll 20 dice, how many 6s are you going to get statistically? 3? Is it worth paying? Like, I actually don't remember if I know the points of a Librarian and Terminator armor off the top of my head, but it must be like 80 points minimum. Is it worth paying 80 points for 3 attacks? I don't think so. I guess you get sustained 1 in shooting as well, but I mean the close combat Terminators don't have shooting attacks, so yeah, I can't figure out if close combat Terminators are something that we could run. If you're going to run Terminators, I guess the Power Fist, Stormbolt or variant is the better variant. Somebody did win a tournament with a squad of those. Like a Blood Angels player won a tournament with a squad of those, and he was using them very much the similar way that I use Blade Guard to hold a middle field objective. They've got an invuln save, they've got 3 wounds per model, they've got decent toughness. So you can use them, just not many people are. And every time I seem to start thinking about them, I'm just like, I'm not sure about these. I don't think they're good enough for the points. So I guess take it with a pinch of salt. The Terminator Librarian is 75 points. I guess you get his melee too. Yeah, sure. What does he give? He gives sustained 1. Is that all he gives, or does he give another buff? I mean, after that beating I had against Drukhari, I'm willing to try some new stuff. I was honestly thinking of trying Dante with Vanguard Veterans this week. I know a lot of people said I would be better taking a Sangori Priest with the Vanguard Veterans, but I got beat so badly that I was like, I'd be willing to try just about anything. So yeah, I was really considering trying Dante with 10 Vanguard Veterans just because I'd like to keep them cheap-ish. Don't forget the Terminator Ancient. Yeah, you can you attach the Ancient and the Librarian to a squad, Jim? I don't think you can, right? Blade Guard get 1 extra guy in the unit for less points, baked in rerolls. And then, that's the thing about the Blade Guard, is they can fight first. And I think the Blade Guard's fight first mechanic is very, very strong. Like, statistically, they kill quite a lot of stuff if they get charged by, like, if they get charged by anything that's T5 or less, they kill a lot of it. Like, I think when we did the maths, it was like, they kill, like, if you got charged by 10 Plague Marines, I think the Blade Guard kill, like, 8 or 9 of them with Fight First. Can't you run Dante, Priest, and Van Vets? You can, but I was trying to keep the points down. If you're trying to figure out stats for units, you should check out Dirt Sheet's website. What is Dirt Sheet? Is that where you got the information for the winning units from Turkey? Dark Elder played very well. Andrew also played, like, his dice rolls were insane. You had to take, I did 10 damage to him with Infernal Pistols, and he friggin' saved 7 of the damage with Feel No Pain. Like a 5-up Feel No Pain, he rolled 7 5-ups from 10 dice. So, yeah, I know I can't decide. Like, the Haywire from Drukhari is a real problem for Blood Angels, isn't it? I really hate... Well, I mean, I guess it's a real problem for anyone that's got armor. Haywire is also like a big enemy of the Land Raider Redeemer, which is something that I've been running a lot, I guess. Oh, you DM'd me? Oh, cool. I haven't checked my Discord properly today, so I will check it. Thanks, Turkey. Did I... Oh, I only did one of these. Oops. Yeah, It's like the whole Drukhari army either has anti-vehicle dev wounds or anti-infantry like 2 or 3 up. It's very, very it's very, very optimized at killing me, which is interesting because Andrew played Colin the night after, right? So he absolutely destroyed me with his Drukhari. And then he played Colin the night after and he lost against the Death Guard, and he was complaining. I wouldn't say he was complaining, he was just, I asked him like, hey, so did you beat Death Guard? And he's like, no, I didn't beat Death Guard. And I was like, oh, you know, like, what's the problem? And he was like, well, the Plague Burst Crawlers obviously kill like a lot of his stuff indirect because he's only Eldar, and Plague Burst Crawlers are quite good against that low toughness. He was saying, you usually beat Colin though, and I was like, yeah, I beat Death Guard very, very often. Like my lists, I think the last, yeah, because I played Colin twice in the last, about a month ago, I played him twice, 2 weeks in a row, because remember the first night I played him, he complained that he thought he had an extra CP for Mortarion, but he actually didn't. So I beat him that night that he thought he'd lost he'd magically, he'd got confused. He thought he had 1 more CP, but he didn't. So, I beat him that night, and then we did a rematch like the week later with the exact same lists, and I beat him again. So it's like, my list is good enough to regularly beat Death Guard. Because I just beat them twice in a row, and that same Death Guard list basically trounced the Drukhari, so it's a bit rock, paper, scissors. But it doesn't change the fact that I felt like pretty bad. Or embarrassed, or just, yeah, probably a little bit embarrassed getting beat that badly on stream, honestly. But it was just like, it snowballed really hard, the game against Drukhari. But it is sometimes good to lose, because you only question stuff when you lose, right? When you win, you just pat yourself on, I always say that, you just pat yourself on the back and move on to the next game. Andrew rolled super hot. Yeah, he did roll pretty hot. I felt like he was rolling pretty hot with his saves the whole game, and his feel no pains the whole game. But it did then snowball way out of control, I guess, right? Out of line of sight, demech them. Yeah. Could your list be weak versus horde toughness armies? I mean, there was other things, right? Like, I used my Baal Predator, which I was thinking about after the battle. Statistically, the Baal Predator, the Baal Predator will swing, right? Obviously. And if the Baal Predator swung high, it can actually kill, let me get this right, it can actually kill like 24 or 25 Drukhari. I mean, it's never going to do that, but that's, on a good swing, it can kill that many, right? Because you could get 10 shots from the, what's the flamer cannon? I forget what the Baal Predator's main cannon, Flamestorm cannon. You could get 10 shots from the Flamestorm cannon, you could get 12 shots from the heavy flamers, you could get 4 more shots from the bolters, so you could kill like 24, 25, maybe even 26 Drukhari. I think when I shot my Baal Predator in Overwatch, I think I killed 1 Drukhari. So he was swinging high, and I was obviously swinging very, very low that game. But still, I do think a game like that can justify, like, right, I already had kind of gone, like, I was playing 2 Land Raiders, and I don't think that's the right call for Blood Angels right now. I do sort of think I need a jump unit, a throwaway jump unit I can contest or score with early game. That's probably why I'm putting on some paint onto these guys, just in case this becomes just in case my jump intercessors get a bit more play. Well, I haven't tried Vanguard Veterans in a long time, so I thought maybe I'd play some Van Vets for a couple of games, see how we feel about them. I guess I haven't tried them since the Sons of Sanguinius changes, so that they go up to strength 7. I also haven't tried Dante since the Sons of Sanguinius changes, so I was kind of just thinking I could just run Dante and Van Vets as an experiment, just to see how I feel about that. Padaman has 30 jump intercessors in his list. Someone had also said to me, I never considered this, but I guess jump intercessors are good for dealing with fight first units, right? Because they do the mortal wounds before the fight phase. And also, like I said, I did not realize that if you have a fight first unit that is not within engagement range at the start of the fight phase, then it does not have fight first, even if it's engaged in later. It doesn't magically get fight first halfway through the phase. It needs to have it at the start. So that was a big learning that came up this week as well, that I learned, I guess. Hello, Go For It Painting. The Sangreal Priest is probably the best leader. Yeah, I mean, the Sangreal Priest possibly is the best leader. I've used him a couple of times, right? Feel No Pain and extra AP is very good. I just kind of felt like Dante deserved to get a game because he hasn't... I don't think I've used my Primaris Dante model yet. Have I used him? Maybe I used him like one time, maybe. Anyone using Dante at the moment, or has everybody just shelved him? I've got like 11 weeks until that GT that we're hosting. So I guess in the next 11 weeks I'll figure out a more solid /table army list. But I might use Dante in the because here's the thing. There's supposed to be a balanced data slate, right? They're supposed to be coming out pretty soon. So it might not be a bad idea to have a game under my belt with Dante at the current 125 points in case he goes down like 10 or 15 points. Because I think that's what happened with me and Mephiston a while back, is like I was running Mephiston when he was like 145 points. And I was like, meh, I'm not sure I really like Mephiston, he's a bit pricey. And then in one of the data slates, I think they dropped him from like 145 to 120 or 125, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I took Mephiston to a tournament, which I didn't win because Mephiston is swingy as all hell. We all know that, that's why we don't really field Mephiston. But I did have fun. And like, what is 40k if it's not supposed to be fun, right? Like, you can be competitive, sure, and I do like to be somewhat competitive. I do also like to have fun. Be a good sport and meet new people, you know, that is part of the appeal for the socialness part of it, right? Hello Guillaume, how you doing? Crispy Delicious painted Dante the first week he came out and he hasn't played him. Well, see, that's why I feel like I should just give my Dante a shot. Give him a little bit of a run out. Lamartas is the only viable named character. I liked Tycho at the start of 10th, man. Remember when Tycho had those crazy rules where you could have him attached to what were they? The old company veterans, where you could have them with storm shields and las cannons. I quite liked that. I thought that was pretty fun. I don't think I got to run that to a tournament, but I would have probably run it to a tournament. They also went inside a Rhino, which was pretty fun. It was the only time I'd used Rhinos in probably like the best part of a decade, I guess. Mario says Dante's great if he gets the charge. I guess if he gets the charge. The reason I don't like Tycho in the Death Company is because the squad that he's with is still OC0, and I kind of find it a bit difficult to play. Or yeah, I guess I find it a bit difficult to play, and I don't like playing squads that have OC0. Because just sometimes like the game gets all strung out and you need that squad to do something, like hold an objective, and they just can't because they're OC0, and Well, I guess I'm not a huge fan of those OC0 squads, so I haven't actually ran Tycho the Lost. I ran him before he got lost. I thought he was okay. Kind of liked him. I mean, if I had a squad of those new company veterans, I might run them with Tycho just for a bit of fun. I can't believe you still haven't got Dante Highland Phoenix. Surely on the Blood Angels Codex refresh he's going to get a bit of a buff, or he's going to get points drop or something to make him good. He's such a cool... That's the pity though, right? Like, the model is so cool. The model is so much cooler than his rules. How come we don't see drop pods? Because I think drop pods used to synergize best with Devastators with multi-meltas. Because it basically gave you like a multi-melta strike in turn 1 that was uncounterable to a certain extent. And multi-meltas obviously lost a bunch of their potency in that, like, a lot... They stayed at like strength 8 and all the vehicles and stuff went up to like toughness 10, right? Because multi-meltas used to like wound a lot of vehicles on 3s or 4s, and then they changed it to basically multi-meltas wound on 5s. So we used to see loads of drop pods, but I actually quite liked seeing drop pods against me as Blood Angels, because I think is what Turkey says, is like, see, if I had dreadnoughts, I would charge my dreadnoughts into the drop pod and another unit, like the unit next to it. I put all the attacks into the unit, so that basically what it would mean is my dreadnought is still in close combat with the drop pod, and you can still do this now. If my dreadnought's in close combat with the drop pod, then I guess it's different in 10th edition, because you can shoot at vehicles that are in close combat, but in 9th edition you couldn't shoot at vehicles that were in close combat. So what it meant was, like, you basically, the drop pod actually protected your vehicle from being shot by your opponent. So it was actually, like, negative for your opponent to have the drop pod. Like, I won a few games because I was able to charge a drop pod, kill the whole unit next to it, then in the opponent's turn, finish killing the drop pod and get like a consolidation move towards the opponent's line, so it protected you from being shot for a turn, and then you actually got bonus movement out of it. So it was like a double negative for your opponents to bring drop pods. So now that they don't have those crazy multi-melta turn 1 alpha strikes, for a lack of a better term, I guess that's what I would call it, a turn 1 alpha multi-melta drop pod strike, we see them, we just don't see drop pods, I guess, right? Like, I can't remember seeing one in 10th edition. I wish drop pods had assault ramps. Yeah, I mean, assault ramps isn't exactly... Yeah, they would need a rule where you could get a bit closer and make a charge, I guess. Hey, maybe in the Blood Angels Codex we'll get some, we'll get an attachment that makes getting charges a little bit easier. That'd be cool. I'm all for that. Oh, Stephen played a game today with 3 drop pods. How'd they do for you, man? Why no one talks about the High Chapel Elite Guard like the Sangre Guard? Where are they? It would be an awesome new Blood Angels unit. I mean, Dark Angels got a pretty decent refresh, right? And from my understanding, I guess, Ultramarines have had quite a lot of characters made Primaris. Like, Ultramarines have, like, 5 Primaris characters now. They've got Uriel Ventress, right? They've got Tigris, Marnius, don't they have someone else? And then Gilliman? I'm sure they've got a 5th. And then Black Templar's got quite a big Primaris refresh as well, and they got like 2... They got the Crusader squad, they got the Sword Brethren, they got like 4 characters. I'm trying to think, they got Hellbreck, they got... oh, I don't remember the names of all the Black Templar characters, but they did get like 4 of them, right? They got the Sword... I think he was the Emperor's Champion, he was Black Templars as well, was he not? So, and then Dark Angels got like 4 characters and a new Terminator squad, a new Inner Circle Guard type squad. So I think when Blood Angels do eventually get a refresh, there's been a ton of rumours that it might be this edition. It might not be this edition, it might be next edition, and we might all be living in false hope. But I think when Blood Angels do get a refresh, it should be significant. Azrael, they made Titus as well. Yeah, Eternal Crusader says their entire range of Black Templars got refreshed. Yeah, so like... Reminds me of... you know, I don't know if you guys enjoyed the movie Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but I liked it. I know it was very dumb, but I did like it. It just reminds me of that scene where he's like, "When, Lord? When's it gonna be my time?" Our time will come, and it will be glorious, hopefully. And hopefully Games Workshop do it like they're doing the other new codexes, where we'll just have like a crazy power spike for 3 months where we beat everybody. Look at Necrons at the moment. You think Necrons are going to get any battle? Yeah, anyone in here play Necrons? Anyone thinks that Necrons are getting nerfed in the balance data slate, or everybody thinks Necrons are fine? I think a few Necron models might go up in points. Mario says they got Marnius, Rabuti, Uriel, Tiggy and Sicarus, who never see play. Titus has no rules, he's just a lieutenant. Okay, so you do have like 6 Primaris characters, I guess. Sea Lion says they'll have female Blood Angels by then. I have been staying out of the whole... I haven't made my opinion on the male-female nonsense, but yeah, it's a real tricky one. Like in real life, I have a daughter and I think it's awesome. She can do whatever the hell she wants. Like, in fact, I was saying to like Mark and Tony, like I'm starting football lessons with my daughter like next weekend. So like I've booked a set of football lessons for her, and I think it's awesome that the world has moved on enough that we can do that sort of thing. But I get there's a lot of drama around, so I don't know. I'm just gonna, yeah. I prefer it if we didn't talk much. As much as people are upset or happy about the female custodes and all the nonsense, I guess I prefer it if we just didn't talk about it, because I think it's just gonna cause drama. Like, people don't want the lore changed, but hey, lore does get changed from time to time. Hopefully it won't be like the new Star Wars, because the new Star Wars is literally a ticking time bomb of nonsense, isn't it? Crispy Delicious had soccer practice today. Nice, man. I bought my daughter a pink Arsenal strip, because Arsenal did have a pink strip last season. Or maybe it was 2 seasons ago, so I was on eBay. I'm a huge eBay person, by the way. Like now, I just always shopping on eBay for kids, because the kids grow out the clothes so fast, man. Shoes as well. You know, like soccer boots for my kids would be like $30. But on eBay I can pick up like a second-hand pair that look like they've barely been worn for like for like 99 cents. I actually won a pair of soccer shoes for my kid for 99 cents. So I was like, why would I spend $30 on the store when I can go to eBay and get it for $1? So eBay's been like a saving grace for me, but yeah. I'm excited. I really hope that they like soccer. Soccer's becoming big in the States now, though, because you go back like 20 years or maybe 10 years, it was much less, right? No, it's all good, Sea Lion. It's not a problem to mention it, I guess. I just think it's going to be such a... It's going to last for ages, this contentious nonsense about lower retcons and stuff like that, I guess. For once, it actually, like, most of my, I was going to say, like 99% of my hobby doesn't involve reading or doing lower things. I occasionally get new Blood Angels books. I did actually sign up to the Audible. Audible are doing that thing at the moment where it's like 3 months for 99 cents. Every time they do that, because they do it like every year, I always sign up and grab like a few books, and I am going to grab the new Flesh Tearers book because it's Flesh Tearers and why not, right? But I must admit, I usually always grab like a Star Wars book or something like that. I have a half an hour walk both ways to work every day, like half an hour there, half an hour back. So that's my time for catching up on lore and stuff. So I listen to audiobooks usually. Jake says, I only have 1,000 points so far. I wanted to pick up some Death Company Marines. Is it worth getting them now, or are they like to be invalidated with a Primaris release? You know, I must have had this question 50 times in the last couple of months, Jake, and there's been so many rumours about Blood Angels getting refreshes. There's been rumours about Lamartez, who is the leader of the Death Company, essentially, that he's getting a new model because he's not Primaris yet. I haven't specifically heard that we're getting new Death Company. Like, I haven't specifically heard about that. But here's the thing, I know nothing, right? Like, I have no affiliation with Games Workshop. They don't tell me anything. So, what might be a better idea, Jake, and I'm not sure if this is the right idea, but it might be a better idea, is to just buy some Primaris Marines, like these new jump intercessors, because these guys are brand new, right? Like, they're not going away for any time soon. Buy yourself 10 or 15 or however many Primaris jump intercessors that you want, and proxy them as Death Company for now. I feel like would probably be the safest thing to do. Unless you're going to like a Games Workshop tournament, most people are okay with proxies, especially you would actually be your models would actually be made for disadvantage as well, because your models would actually the Primaris Marines are a little bit bigger than Death Company. Like, it's tiny, but they would be a little bit bigger, so it would actually be harder for you to hide them. It's so small though. Like on the standardized terrain maps, there's barely anything in it. So it would be the ever so slight disadvantage by buying the Primaris models. But you might be safer to just buy Primaris models. If you really want to, you could magnetize all their arms. But I feel like people have started to care less about WYSIWYG since Games Workshop made all those changes to points costs, where every model can just take the best weapon options for free, essentially. A lot of people have, at least in my hobby group, have basically given up caring about WYSIWYG, because people were changing their weapon options, people were magnetizing their arms. I was certainly doing it as well, but I think it just went one step. Like, how many times are you going to magnetize arms before you just basically say, well, like every edition they're changing the rules now. So it was like, oh, last edition Thunderhammers are really good, now Thunderhammers are junk. This edition Power Fists are really good. Well, if you go and make 20 guys with Power Fists, what's going to happen if next edition we're back to Thunderhammers being really good? Like, I think there's only so many times they can change the rules or the stuff on the models like that before people give up. I mean, I've given up doing WYSIWYG. Whenever I'm playing, I literally just say to my opponent, just so you know, like, all these models are armed this way. And no one has had a problem with it. And I'm sure I've played against other friends who have basically said the same thing. You know, like, Colin uses Plague Burst Crawlers, and I'm sure he's got the Entropy Cannons on the Sponsons, but he's actually just running them all as Flamers now, because I guess Flamers are better than Entropy Cannons. So, you know, like, before the battle, I just say to him, are those actually Entropy Cannons on the Sponsons of the Plague Burst Crawler, or is it something else? And he's like, no, it's just the Flamers now. I'm like, okay, cool. So I think as long as you're totally transparent, so you're not trying to, like, mess with your opponent's knowledge or win the game because he doesn't know what weapon options are, I'd probably buy Primaris Marines, because they're also going to be future-proof if they do release that new set, because you already have them in the right size, right? Like, I'm not buying any Firstborn Marines anymore. If I wanted more Death Company at this point, I guess I would just buy more Primaris ones and make them and paint them and not worry about WYSIWYG, probably. I hope that answers your question, Jake. Thanks for dropping by, though. It's nice to see new faces. We've seen, like, a bunch of new faces tonight, man. Must be doing something right. Highland Phoenix you're still magnetizing Vanguard. Didn't you get the memo, Highland Phoenix, that no one cares about WYSIWYG anymore, or is it just my friend circle that don't care? I actually, that is a good question though, right? Like, Turkey, you play a lot of games. Highland Phoenix, you play a lot of games as well. Like, are your friend circles feeling the same way about WYSIWYG, or are they still enforcing WYSIWYG? Is it just because my friend circle gave, like, literally the second they put out all that nonsense where, like, fixed points costs are gone, paying extra points. So basically you're always just gonna have the best weapons, because why would you ever not have the best weapons now, right? I feel like all my friends just gave up on WYSIWYG when that came out. Marius even plays in the GW store and says that they don't do WYSIWYG anymore. Yeah, I think GW honestly killed that for themselves. Like, I don't know. I certainly stopped bothering. And I was the same. Like, I've got... Last edition, I think I did 20 Vanguard Veterans. Every single one's arms is magnetized. I've got 30 Sangre Guard, but maybe 10 of them have Infernal Pistols magnetized. So I had a lot of stuff, or I'd done a lot of stuff in the recent years that was all magnetized. I think it was really important before, right? Because before it was like you had an exact number of points, so you needed to know. Like, it was more important because it was like, alright, I need to know precisely how many Infernal Pistols are left in the squad or something like that. Whereas now it's irrelevant. If everyone's got the same weapon, it kind of becomes irrelevant, I guess. Worst part is you don't get the bits needed to kit units like you want to now. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you can't, some of the kits you can't even build the way you want them to be because the sprue, like, it was a common, like, I bought a lot of Vanguard Veteran kits because Vanguard Veteran kit had like 4 Thunderhammers in the kit. And if you played Death Company and you wanted all your Death Company to have hammers, the best way to get hammers was to buy Vanguard Veteran kits, right? And I feel like there was a few other times where I just bought like a Death Company kit or a Sangre Guard kit to get Infernal Pistols. But I guess, yeah, a lot of that has been lost. Hey, Highland Phoenix is still magnetizing. Good for you, man. I guess someone's still taking it seriously, huh? You're still making the rest of us feel inadequate. Try building 10 in Death Company with Infernal Pistols. Yeah, I think I've got 10 with Infernal Pistols, but what a pain it was. And I definitely bought some 3D printed ones because it was just... You were basically paying like $4 or $5 a pistol from eBay, which is just ridiculous. At least the refreshed units, like there was Ultramarine refreshes, and there was, well, Dark Angel's just got a new upgrade sprue, I guess is what I was trying to say, is like, there's some new, hopefully Blood Angels will get some new good upgrade sprues. I was trying to buy an entire Firstborn company, but the fact you don't get all the Devastator options put me off. I was going to say, if you're going to try and buy a Firstborn company, you need to do it now, right? Because I feel like non-Primaris stuff is just so on borrowed time, I guess, right? Basically, anything that's not Primaris. Yeah, that maybe comes back to Jake's question like 10 minutes ago, is like, should I buy Death Company? Probably not. I certainly am. I haven't buying any more Firstborn stuff. I got hit really badly. I lost like 4 Firstborn units that I just finished. Like at the start, like I'd finished them, you know, like in the last season, whatever it was called, Arcs of Omen, towards the end of 9th edition, I'd gone hard on trying to get like 4 or 5 new units ready for 10th edition, only to find out basically 4 of the 5 units that I'd got all went into Legends. So, yeah, that wasn't great. So that was kind of put me off buying any more Firstborn stuff, I guess. My whole force was mainly firstborn. I don't have a competitive army at all anymore. Pretty much waiting for the codex now. Yeah, I mean, that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I at least had been keeping up reasonably well with like the Primaris stuff, in that like I'd bought Indomitus, I'd bought Dark Imperium, I'd bought Leviathan. Leviathan's actually the one I've done the least of. Like, do you know what? I keep thinking about those Outriders actually. Maybe I need to get my Outriders out. Maybe that's what I should be painting after these guys. Just finish a squad of Outriders. Because I've had those Outriders since Indomitus, which is like 6 years ago now. Maybe I should just finish a squad of Outriders so I've got one finished. What GW did to AOS shows that they will not be afraid to cull all of our special units and offer us new sculpts or jump intercessors with upgrades. Yeah, what they did to AOS is not ideal. That's a really awkward one to talk about as well. S3, I don't know what else. S3 Nix? Is that how you say your name? Because I must admit, as someone who is what would I call my, like, you hear the phrase like time rich. I'm not time rich. What's the opposite of time rich? I don't know what that is. Time starved? As someone who's time starved, as in like I think I talked about there at the beginning of the stream, like I work a lot of hours every week and then I've got 2 kids who are very young and can't be left alone. I mean, they can be left alone somewhat, but like can't really leave the 2 of them downstairs by themselves and me be up here painting. Like my wife was out this afternoon. I might have actually streamed this afternoon rather than tonight, but like it wasn't even an option for me to stream this afternoon because I've got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old with me, right? And I can't really just leave them alone for like 2 hours while I go do a stream, right? So like I'm time starved. So as someone who's time starved, losing 10,000 points of your army, or I think I lost like 3,000 or 4,000 points last edition, is horrific, right? And I guess like maybe if I hadn't been like actively building this YouTube channel and being really in, like if I was just more casual and I lost that much of my army just because they've decided not to support those units anymore, there's a very good chance I would have probably just like, maybe not quit, but just like take a break for 6 months, go play another game, right? Like that's a thing that happens. Like there's people in our community, in our Blood Angels community, that used to be super engaged, we just don't see anymore, like ever. Why is that? I think it's because people don't like getting their toy, like, I don't care if I've had this model 10 years. I don't want it ever taken away from me. I don't mind them making new models. I don't mind them like even making new sculpts to existing ones to, you know, like better looking sculpts. But I don't want anything that I've ever done and spent time on being taken away, regardless of how long it is or how old it is. And I guess Games Workshop see differently. You know, like they think that once you've had a model for 10 years and you've played with it for a bit, I actually think 10 years is longer than what they're thinking. They think it's okay to just take that model away from you and say, hey, you can't use it anymore, buy new models. But I mean, I have models that I bought years ago now that are still on sprue because I feel like they've never fitted in my army, they've never been competitive. So what happens if they've never been competitive? I've never even finished them off the sprue. There's a few, right? Like my suppressors. I've never finished my suppressors. I've got 6 of them. I feel like they've never really been that competitive. I've got 10 Reavers. I really like how Reavers look, but I feel like they've never really been competitive, so I only ever finished 5 of them. So like there's a real chance, I suppose, if the life cycle of models is only going to be like 5 or 6 years or maybe less, that you buy a unit, you don't think it's that competitive, so you put it on the shelf for a while, and then before you ever finish it, it's gone. I don't think that's a good thing ever. Highland Phoenix is very interested in the Agents of Imperium release, and maybe even the Emperor's Children. I'm interested in the Agents of Imperium, for sure. It'll be interesting to see what allied units they give, or if there is some new, getting tongue-tied, new allied options, new allied units. I don't know what I was trying to say. I was getting all confused. Was the Stalker model even a model for more than 10 years? Yeah, I mean, I guess Stalkers, very few people had Stalkers, I feel like. But yeah, I think the Stalker had been around for a while. I think most of the stuff that they got rid of for the Marine range had been around a very long time, like probably close 15 years or something. But I think in Age of Sigmar, a bunch of the models that they got rid of were not even 6 years old, from my understanding. And I guess people really dislike that. I mean, I really dislike that as well. 6 years feels like way too short a time. Like I said, I've had models that are on their sprues for 6 years because they're not competitive. My painting is all done around competitive models. If something is uncompetitive, I will not waste my time painting it. Because like I said, I feel like I'm time poor with the kids. So I will paint stuff that I think is competitive. So if like Strike Force Augustus is a good example. I bought that. I think Strike Force Augustus came out about a year ago now at this point. Maybe slightly more than a year. I think maybe like 14, 15 months. So I opened Strike Force Augustus. I think I've got it right here. Where is it? Strike Force Augustus. Inside it was heavy intercessors. Well, I already had a squad of heavy intercessors, so this squad is still somewhat on sprue. There's a lieutenant with a plasma pistol and power fist. He's pretty much on sprue. There was 10 Desolation Marines. I did build them. I put 3 colours on them, but they've been in a drawer for like 9 months at this point because they're not competitive anymore, right? And this Brutalis Dreadnought is literally on the sprue right here because I'm not taking the Brutalis Dreadnought off the sprue because I don't think it's competitive. So if they're gonna, if they were gonna replace this in 6 years' time, well, it's lived for a year and a half on that sprue because it's not going to be competitive this edition. Typically, models don't. Typically models don't. If there are rules at the start of the edition were not competitive, they don't typically become competitive, right? Like I feel like they're much more likely to become competitive in the next edition than suddenly finding themselves competitive in the current edition. I feel that's accurate. I'm trying to think of an example that breaks that. But I feel like stuff like aggressors, right? Like aggressors they were competitive in 8th edition. They had a really nice rule in 8th edition where if they stood still you could fire twice. That made them super competitive. I used them a lot in my Blood Angels. I liked them a lot. Then in 9th edition, just no one run aggressors, right? Like they just nobody run them. They're absolute dog shit. Maybe Ultramarines or someone ran them because there would have been some, or maybe not Thousand Suns, Imperial Fists or something. But like most people, no one running aggressors. And then 10th edition, aggressors come back for a hot minute. They were really good, and then they got 2 giant points increases, and they're gone again. So it's such a weird one, man. I don't know. I really dislike them removing existing models. Like I said, I don't have any problem with buying new models every I buy all the new releases. I do buy all the new releases. I just don't think they should remove people's old models in any way, shape, or form. I think it just pisses people off and they stop playing. You think the Stalker lasted 10 years? Okay, maybe it did. I can't remember when they brought in Stalkers, man. I never bought one. Did they bring out the Hunter at the same time? I never bought one of them either. I actually don't know if I ever saw a Stalker or a Hunter on the battlefield. Like, I don't think I play a lot of 40k, I don't think I ever played against one. Just allow a certain percentage of lists to be legends? Oh, that's a great idea, man. Games Workshop need to hire you, dude. That would fix it all, wouldn't it? I guess the thing is they don't want to create the rules for the Legends models. But no, that's a great idea, I love that. I'd get on board with that, 100%. It could be a low percentage as well, 15%, 10%. So you can get like 1 or 2 Legends units in every list. How cool would that be? That would thematically make sense as well, actually, you know that? Sea Lion, you're on a winner tonight. Did you see Blood Angel's armory kits that released last week? It's a heresy kit with power weapons and it comes with infernal pistols, making it... I did see it, and I do actually like the kit, and I think that the spears are very interesting. I would like to, at some point, like, convert a blade guard. I actually want to get some more blade guard at some point. I've got 9 of them. And I felt like it wouldn't be the worst idea to just buy another set of Blade Guard and have 12 of them, because I like Blade Guard and they fit really nicely into Land Raiders and they only take up 1 spot. And I like the fact that the 3 wounds and they've got the 4 up in Van and they're not super expensive points wise. So I was thinking maybe at some point I might buy 3 more Blade Guard. And I thought that maybe there's like a conversion you could do with some of those spears from the upgrade kit. So they feel a little bit like 300 style, you know, like shield and spear. Like maybe you have the spear over his head pointing down or something. The Sanguine already has his with spears. Look at that, he's a trendsetter. Good for you. Where did you get your spears from, man? But yeah, I was thinking, every time I try and run 9 Blade Guard, it doesn't work out for me. I've tried it a couple of times now. But I do generally just like Blade Guard, and I do run them in 6s a lot, and I thought it would be nice to have some more, but yeah, I guess it always seems to backfire when I try and run more than 6. Evening, Matthew, how you doing? I think the smartest thing to do is assume that no Space Marine unit is safe. Yeah, I mean, no... I think it's not just Space Marines now, it's everybody, right? No units are indefinitely safe from Legends, I guess. I really just like it. Turkey. I'd rather that they just put out new sculpts for new units and... you know, like, in some ways we don't need a million new Primaris squads. Like, these Assault Jump Intercessors could have just been Assault Marines with new rules or something, right? Highland Phoenix says 10 Dawnbreaker spears and arm spare. Well, let's see a 300 squad of Blade Guard, Highland Phoenix. Surely you can do that. Cool. So I'm going to be live for like 10 more minutes, guys, because I'm getting pretty tired. It's coming up to 11 o'clock, and like I said, I get up pretty early every day with the kids, so if you've got any final Blood Angels questions, please ask them in the next few minutes. I'll be live tomorrow night to look at army lists as always. But, you hate Blade Guard? What's wrong with you? Have you played them with the Judiciar? They're literally amazing. You've seen my Golden Blade Guard, right? I friggin' love those Golden Blade Guard. Any tips for a nice vibrant red? I use Evil Sun Scarlet, man. Mephiston Red is the more... Mephiston Red is the more assumed Blood Angels red, I suppose, these days, but this is the red I use. And it's Evil Sun Scarlet. It's just a little bit brighter. I just always like having a model of what I'm aiming for next to what I've got, I guess. So this was this is just a regular Assault Intercessor, I guess. Didn't you have Crimson Paladins as well, Highland Phoenix? Can you not make some Blade Guard out of Crimson Paladins with spears? That would be cool. The Flesh Tearers Red is much darker. Yeah, I mean the Flesh Tearers Red is good. I was going to say Mephiston Red is fine, but I feel like when Games Workshop renamed their paints, because they renamed their paints, let me try and think when the hell that was. It wasn't quite a decade ago. I think it was was it a decade ago that they renamed all the paints? It must be getting close to it, actually. Somewhere between like 8 and 10 years ago, I think they renamed all their paints. I can't remember exactly when, but I used to paint all my Blood Angels with a paint called Blood Red. And I felt like Blood Red was closer to Evil Sun Scarlet than Mephiston Red was. Mephiston Red's more like grim dark. Like you've been on the battlefield for a while, your armor's a bit gringy. And I like Blood Angels armies painted in Mephiston Red, but I'd always been painting mine with like the Blood Red, which was just a little bit more vibrant. So that's what I went for. That's why I went Evil Sun Scarlet. Over Mephiston Red. Matthew uses the watered down Blood Angels Red contrast as a glaze. It really helps the models pop, but it's a bit darker. You actually use water to water down the contrast paint, or do you actually use like Lamium, like I guess it's contrast medium, is it? I've got Lamium medium, but I don't actually have any contrast medium. I've never tried like watering down, or I've never tried putting contrast medium into contrast paint, I guess. I genuinely don't use contrast paints. I use them for very, very small things here and there, and I actually only have like one contrast paint. The Starks Party says it was about 9 years ago. Yeah. Time flies, man. Time flies. If you use water with contrast, it's no longer contrast paint, but it still works in a glaze. Okay, interesting. It's amazing how many different color schemes we have for just doing red blood angels, huh? Hold on, I think I can hear my daughter up again. No, sorry, it's the other kid this time. I went through and tried to say to him, let's have a cuddle. He's just like, no. Okay. I'm not the I'm not the favourite parent. Bad Francis, does anyone have a recommendation regarding a decent ivory paint? Ivory for, like, tusks or something? The only colour I can think that's a bit like ivory would be like, like somewhere between Ushabti bone and like Xandri dust? Like what are you painting that you want ivory for? That's very messy, John. Look how messy that is. I'm probably going to need to give this whole bit a touch up with the red anyway, just to neaten up some of the edges and stuff. Oh, you're just using it for armor? Okay. I like the Vallejo model paint, actually. I only have a couple, but the ones that I've got I felt are really good. You guys talking about this sort of one? Vallejo model colour. I like that they're in dropper bottles as well, man. I kind of hate that the Games Workshop paints are all not in dropper bottles, honestly. Dropper bottles is much better. Alright guys, I'm off in just 2 minutes here. If you've got last questions, now's the time. Otherwise, tomorrow night, around 8 o'clock, we'll come on and we'll do like an hour and a bit, an hour and change of Community Army submissions. Quite a lot of submissions again this week. Probably quite a lot of Sons of Sanguinius. We've been seeing so many Sons of Sanguinius lists these last couple of weeks. So, yeah, we'll do that tomorrow night at about 8 UK time. So that'll be about 3 PM Eastern. And maybe next week I'll put more effort into these jump intercessors, or maybe I feel like I want to just do a squad of Outriders, because I feel like if I don't, then Outriders will get made Legends before I've ever had them painted. And then, typically if something gets made Legends, I'm probably never going to bother to paint it. So I'm never going to play with it again. So never bother is the wrong term. It's never going to be highest on my priority list to paint it, so it'll never get done. Because I always end up painting what I think is competitive. Thank you to everybody that hung out tonight. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the comments. There wouldn't be really a stream or a hangout without you guys hanging out and doing all the comments. So I do appreciate that. Thank you to everybody that did super chats or gifted subs and all that sort of stuff as well tonight. There's a few of those coming in. They're always super appreciated. Really do appreciate those. Thank you so much. Yeah, GW do need to do something with the Outrider Sergeant. If the Outrider Sergeant had been allowed to have like a Power Fist or something, would that have made it, would that have been enough, Highling Phoenix, for you to run them, you know? Like, that's the thing I don't understand with some of the... You know, like, I can understand them saying that they want to make some units more like, uniform? Is that the right word? You know, like, easier to balance or more uniform. But, like, sometimes I just feel like, you know, back in the day, for example, like, Tactical Squad. The Sergeant of the Tactical Squad can take, like, Thunderhammer, probably. I actually don't know because I don't play Tactical Squads, but I'm sure that they can take a Thunderhammer. I'm pretty sure he can take a Power Fist. I don't think that really changes too much, right? Like, can't remember a game where the balance of the game changed on the fact that the sergeant in a tactical squad had an extra thunderhammer or something, you know. I could be wrong, but yeah, I would have loved to see. But I guess that's the problem, right? Like, if they put out a Primaris kit, like Infiltrators or Heavy Intercessors or Sternguard or something, they don't have a melee weapon option on it, and it's not in the box, they just don't ever give rules for that anymore, which I think it would be better if they just sold, like if they sold a generic sergeant upgrade kit. Had like lots of weapon options you could give to sergeants for Primaris squads. Then that'll be good. Would anyone think that would break the balance at 40k? I just think it would be a good thing. The intercessors are so bland compared to tactical squads. That's like a conscious design decision, Marius, where they've tried to make squads more... They've tried to make the game more competitive, and to make the game more competitive they have to strip out some of the flavour. There's a very strong argument to say that a tactical squad has never made the game uncompetitive though, right? I get why they do... That's why they're doing it, I guess. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I suppose only time will tell. In the meantime, though, I'll leave you guys with your thoughts. You can join over on our Discord. Yeah, I see a few people linking !Discord in chat to get the Discord link. I'll be back here at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So this is 11 o'clock now. So about 3 hours earlier from now, tomorrow night, we will get together and talk about Blood Angels army lists for a couple hours. So yeah, leave a like on the stream before you head out if you've got 2 seconds to do that. I guess Jeff's probably right. Part of it is the competitive balance, part of it is making it easier to get into the game as well. There's definitely that to it as well, isn't there? Yeah. Cool. Alright, tomorrow night we'll be back 8 o'clock. Have a great evening, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Peace.